Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I am alone, and I'll be discussing Pokémon Red and Blue, the first games to come out for the Pokémon franchise. Yes, we are doing them all. I am doing every single fucking mainline Pokémon game. Yeah, that might sound a bit crazy, but I already own around half of them. Specifically own, like have it on like systems that I can play on, like official Nintendo systems, and I will be making episodes on them. Red and Blue, or specifically Red. For this, I'm not gonna go like, oh, Red. I'm gonna do an episode on Red and an episode on Blue. I mean, that was very obvious because I've done episodes on Sword and Shield, just them two. But I'm not gonna do that. What I am gonna do is count the third versions as separate because the third versions have differences that make them their unique experiences instead of just being like a port or just something else. It's not like, what do you call it? It's not like like a remaster. It's not a remaster. It's not like a different port somewhere. It is where it has like some changes, but it's still the same game. Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Platinum. Those are all games that are different and I guess to an extent Ultra Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Those are games that are different enough that are I think they're considered their own games. You know? So, yeah. They're gonna be their own games. And they're gonna be their own episodes, separate from these games, from like the mainline games. Can you shut the fuck up? I said that to Discord. If you were talking, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to explode at you. But anyways, I will be covering all of them. I was gonna mention all the Pokemon games I own. I own Red and Blue. I own Yellow. I own Gold and Silver. I mean, I own Red. I own Yellow. I own Silver. I own Crystal. I don't have any of the other Pokemon games. I don't have Gen 3. I don't have Gen 3 to Gen 5 because I don't have a DS. If I had a DS, I think I could play pretty much all those games, but I don't have a DS. But I have my ways of getting those games and having them run good. So, you know, I'm not gonna be locked out of these games. Just letting you know, I will be playing those games. I'm just gonna do one quick check to make sure these work well. I'm pretty sure they do, but you never know. You really never know when it comes to these type of games. Can I skip this? Right, this is... It's fucking DS games. It's gonna work. Anyways, I have my different methods to get those games and play those games. Does this work at all? Alright, well, I mean, I guess I have to plug in controller. Cool. Nice. Yeah, okay, it runs good. Anyways, I will be doing episodes on all of Pokemon. Yes, like I said, fucking all of them. I was going, oh yeah. I was talking about which ones I owned. I forgot completely. I own all of those. I don't own any Gen 4, Gen 4, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5. There are some rumors going around of a certain thing being released for the Switch, but I will keep my mouth shut. I will keep my fucking trap shut because right now it doesn't matter. Right now it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyways, um, I don't own any of Game Boy Advanced, like physical or any even digital. I don't own any of those. Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5. I own all of Gen 6. I mean, just two games. But like, two sets of games. But I own both Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and X and Y. I own Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, and at least Let's Go Eevee. And then for Gen 8, I own Sword and Shield, Lance Arceus, and Brilliant Diamond, Dawn Shining Pearl, and of course, I own both Scarlet and Violet, and Legends ZA. Yeah, I own all of them. This means that me starting the series will officially mean that I have 3 different Pokemon series going on the podcast. One will be going from every game from Red and Blue to Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, starting and ending of Kanto. Fun. Another would be every game between every game from Gen 8 to Gen 9, like specifically Sword and Shield to the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. And then another one will be every game post Legends ZA, which will continue on with this year with Gen 10. And that's not a spoiler or a fucking anything, because we all know Gen 10's gonna come out this year. It's not a fucking secret. We all know the 10th generation is gonna come out this year. And guess what? That means more content for me. But I have a lot of games I want to play this year. That I want to buy officially. And that is like Lego Batman, Basic Reincarnation, Marvel Tokon. Those are the games that are releasing this year I really want to play. Halo Campaign Evolved. A lot of games are coming out. A lot of games. lot of games. But yeah. And GTA, obviously. Pokemon. Let's get into Pokemon. So Red and Blue were the first games, and if you went to my backlog, which I know nobody does because nobody fucking uses backlog, but if you went there, you would have seen my review of Pokemon Red, and if you saw my Pokemon Blue review, then you see that it said to redirect it to the Pokemon Red review. But if you went there, you would have seen that it was number one, like a 900-word review of Pokemon Red. First of all, and second of all, the fact that I had previously owned the game. Like I had it for the 3DS. I bought it for the 3DS, the Virtual Console. I think, legitimately, Gen 1 and Gen 2 are the only Pokemon games to be re-released at any point in time. Yeah, makes sense. But I had owned it. I had owned the games. I had the 2016, obviously 2016 stuff. But it was maybe 2017. I'm not sure. I remember when it came out. I don't know when I got it, but I remember when it came out. But yeah, got it for Virtual Console, so I didn't play it on the Game Boy. Sorry to all the purists out there who say that you should only play retro games or whatever the fuck on their original hardware. Go fuck yourselves. I'll play how the fuck I want for this because I am not getting a PS2 for one episode. Okay, I'm not spending how much is a PS2? Okay, PS2 cannot be that expensive. eBay. A PS2 cannot be that expensive. $100. You know what? Maybe. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I'll get a PS2. If it works, I'll get a PS2. Maybe not out of the box. Maybe I'll get a PS2. Is Yakuza PS2 in a good fucking condition? Can I get it for a good price? That's Yakuza 2. That is not what I want. Yakuza 2. There you go. 87 for both? That's not terrible. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. $26 for fuck. I'd rather kill myself. Yikes. Okay, never mind. I have no reason to get a PS2. Anyways. I played it on 3DS. Sorry again to any purists out there who really want me to play it on different who if they say to people, you have to play the games on their original hardware. It's like you really don't fucking need to, as long as you play the game. How the controls work, I mean, they gotta have to do some things in some things, but it's mostly gonna be the same for ports. Mostly. On the podcast here, we consider remasters the same game because they are the same game. So, yeah, remakes are counted as their own game because remakes are made from the ground up. But remasters are not. Remasters are made with just the game and making it, enhancing it. I said that before. I've said it so many times during the fucking podcast that it shouldn't come as a surprise. But yeah. Anyways, that's a very long prelude for an episode I hope is relatively short. I hope it's short. I hope it's not uber long. But yeah. Red and Blue. Let's just begin. Let's just begin. I have not much to say about this game. Maybe I have something to say. I don't think this episode is gonna be very long because Red and Blue. There's not much to really say about Red and Blue. Sure, it's the first game, but to be completely honest, there's not much to say about this. It's very simple. But hey, I'm here to talk about it. Also, we are currently 15 days away from the 30th anniversary. This episode, like many episodes right now, I mean, this will be one of the last July episodes. I think the delay worked out in the end. Sometimes delays make for better timings. Maybe. You never know. But yeah. Let's just get into it. Starting off with the visuals. I'm gonna be fucking real here. Visuals and Game Boy in the same sentence is a fucking oxymoron. Nobody plays Game Boy games for the visuals, okay? Let's be fucking for real here. Nobody plays these games because they look good. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Let's be perfectly honest. Let's be perfectly honest. Nobody plays these games nobody plays Game Boy games for the visuals. They look the Game Boy isn't monochrome. It's fucking like the angry video game nerd once said. The Game Boy isn't monochrome or isn't black and white. It's more of a puke green. I'm surprised it even looks that way on fucking 3DS. Anyways, the visuals, it's a fucking Game Boy game, man. It's a fucking Game Boy game. It's not gonna have the prettiest visuals. It should be said that this came out in 1996 on the Game Boy, 7 years after it launched. Obviously, Again, OG Game Boy wouldn't really have much of a difference between you know the release and when Pokemon came out. Like they still have to be working with 1989 hardware. I wonder what games for the Game Boy came out in 1989 because like a lot of the good games started coming out in the 90s. What was it? We have Metroid: Samus Returns, like 1993, 1992, maybe. I think it's 1992. 91. It's 91. Okay. Okay. It's 91. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Game Boy had a extensive library. I just don't know what people played on it before the 90s. I mean, it came out like in the 90s pretty much. Like 1989. They're basically 90s kids. They're basically 90s kids. Yeah. So there's not gonna be a lot of good things to say about the graphics. Because it's a Game Boy game. It's a Game Boy game. That's all I can say about it. It's a Game Boy game. What I can talk about is the art style. The art style, for some reason, reminds me a lot of Akira Toriyama after watching Dragon Ball, which is something I never thought I'd say. But after watching Dragon Ball, I really had this, like, I saw it and I'm like, oh, like, yeah. I started playing Red Blue because obviously I watched Dragon Ball before finishing this game. And I gotta say, like, it does seem, at least it's somewhat inspired by Red and Blue. By what the fuck? By Akira Toriyama, like Dragon Ball. That might sound a bit weird, but what I'm trying to say is that how the buildings are, how the buildings are like modeled. I guess. I guess modeled. How the buildings are modeled, and how they have like it's just like a random building, but it has like Poke or Mart or some shit like that, like on the side of the building. Reminds me a lot of like Akira Toriyama, and it's him making just drawing like a house, and it just says like medic or whatever, like store. I don't know. I felt a lot of vibes from that kind of art style in here, and maybe that's also just because the art kind of I wouldn't say resembles Akira Toriyama. I can see the inspiration. But I don't think it resembles Akira Toriyama's work too much. It has some similarities, but yeah, I like that. I like the sort of simplicity of the art style in this game. It's not meant to be super like ooh and whatever. I mean, you couldn't really do that. I'm pretty sure like during the development of this game, the people making it were running out of space. Making it. Red and Blue's a fucking mess. It's surprising how not well made, how enjoyable it is for how much of a fucking mess the game is. Like, under the curtain. Like, not under the curtain, behind the curtain. Behind the curtain, it's like, it's so messy. It's so unbelievably messy that it's surprising how good it turned out and how big of a franchise this game turned out to make in the end. Speaking of, I guess, the game, I'm kind of done talking about the visuals because that's all I want to mention. Like, they look good. Oh wait, no, the graph. I almost forgot. The Pokemon. How the Pokemon look. So, at this point in time, the best way to know how Pokemon looked like is like in the anime, pretty much, because the anime is based on I think it's Kensugi Mori's artwork. So, and the anime is probably what they used for reference for a lot of the later generations, and probably Pokemon Yellow's sprite work. Red and Blue is the first one. And that means he has questionable vision sprite work. The humans are fine. The Pokemon, some of them you go like, oh yeah, that's Fearow, or that's Wigglytuff, or um that's Gengar or Charizard or Blastoise. But the quality differs in a lot of them. There's Geodude sprite. There's Mew sprite, which I haven't fucking seen. I finished the game. I haven't even touched the Pokédex because I don't give a fuck. If I can't display my entire collection in a nice, organized way, I don't give much of a fuck. So yeah, didn't even bother with the post game of Red and Blue. Which, I mean, there's not much of a post game in Red and Blue. But I'm not gonna hold it against it because it's the first game. You gotta really think. You gotta really think about that. But the sprite work, yeah, there's some really weird ones in there. Like Venusaur's back sprite, it's like, what the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck am I looking at when I'm looking at fucking Venusaur's back sprite? Or the Squirtle. Squirtle looks so goofy. Or like, what's the one they fixed in Yellow? Because I'm playing through Yellow to make an episode on it, of course. They fixed Pidgey. Pidgey just looks like a fucking bird. It just looks like a fucking bird. It doesn't look anything different. It just looks like a fucking bird. But yeah, the sprite work sometimes it's a bit questionable. It's a bit questionable. But yeah, now we're moving on to the gameplay, and I gotta talk about the Pokemon. To be completely honest, to Gen 1, I feel like Gen 1 is obviously too pandered to, and like, Gen 1 is like, oh, it's Gen 1. We have to, obviously, Gen 1ers have gone extinct pretty much. Aside from like the people who support, Logan Paul saying that they should do the 2D HD or HD 2D sprite work for fucking for like a remake of Kanto and do only 151 Pokemon. It's like anyways, was it Logan Paul or Jake Paul? I'm not sure. I completely forgot which one it was. I think it was Logan Paul because Logan Paul was the one with like fucking like the cards and shit, and the guy who was like scamming people off the cards. So yeah, I think it was Logan Paul. And like a bunch of fucking bots agreeing that we don't need a fourth Kanto remake. We don't fucking need a fourth Kanto remake. We don't need a sixth fucking version of Kanto. We fucking don't. Would it be? Yeah, it's a sixth. I guess seventh. If you count Pokemon Yellow as a separate game. We don't need a seventh version of Kanto. Eighth. Crystal. We don't need an eighth version of Kanto. We don't. We fucking don't. We don't need an eighth version of Kanto. Kanto's been in 8 games. 8 fucking games. We don't need more Kanto. We don't need more Kanto. No. We don't need more Kanto. No. Gameplay. The Pokemon. Again, to be fair to Kanto. Kanto has a really strong, really strong selection of Pokemon. A lot of Kanto's Pokemon are very good for a playthrough. And it's very easy to make a team here. I mentioned it in my backlogged review, but my team was Venusaur for fucking obvious reasons. I like Charizard more than Venusaur, but Venusaur is just like the most optimal one. Plus, I like Arcanine more than I like Charizard. Um, I had I had Venusaur, I had Fearow, and the reason why I chose Fearow instead of going for like any other like going for Pidgeot is because Pidgeot's fucking lame. First of all, and second of all, Fearow and Pidgeot's stat total in this game in like Red and Blue isn't too different. It's like I think a 10-point difference in comparison to I think it's like the 40-point difference it is now. It's a much bigger difference in current gen. Like after they split special defense, special attack from each other, it became he became a bit weaker. Definitely a huge nerf there. But in Gen 1, not the case. Fearow is a lot better. He's a lot faster. He hits a lot harder. So yeah, Fearow is the best choice there. Then Gyarados. I wanted to go with Golduck because I didn't want to repeat types with Fearow, even though Gyarados doesn't get Flying Stab, which I will get into that later. I will get into the stupidity of the move sets in Gen 1 and probably Gen 2. I'll see. I'll see when we get to Gen 2. But Gyarados is the only water type you can get aside from Squirtle until you get the fucking good rod after Lavender Town. Why? you need the fucking good rod because it's either A, spend a lot, go to Vermilion, Vermilion, and get the old rod there, and that's when you get Magikarp, or pay the 500. The 500 the $500 Magikarp is a really good joke. It's just kind of mentioning it here because it's like, oh, like $500, like you're getting this really cool water Pokemon. Like it's a fish, like okay, and it sucks. But if you stay with the fucking fish, he turns into a beast. My Gyarados saved my ass quite a bit of times in my playthrough. Gyarados is a beast. I wish he wasn't flying type. Because God doesn't like the types, which didn't really matter much because I had a ride on. Anyways, after Gyarados, I'm pretty sure I went with Arcanine. Yeah, Arcanine. Love Arcanine. A big problem with Arcanine. Big problem. I'll get into that one later, but there's a big problem with Arcanine. I kind of didn't use it much for a very, very specific reason. I did not use my fucking Arcanine. A very good reason I did not use my Arcanine for that much of the game. Then my Jolteon. Jolteon was also a beast. I love Jolteon much more than Raichu. Jolteon. If you go to my my Gen 1 tier list episode, which is on YouTube, you don't have to go do any fucking weird shit about it. If you go there, you'll see that my ranking of Gen 1 is like what is it? We have fucking hell. We have like Jolteon in S tier. We have like Dragonair in S tier. Like there are some good Pokemon in Gen 1. I gotta give it to the Gen 1ers. They picked a good gen to stand for. Where is it? Where's my Gen 1 tier list? Here it is. My S tier is like Charmeleon, Blastoise. I gotta update this. The fuck? Blastoise in S tier. I don't remember that. Arbok, I do agree. Ninetales, I do agree. Persian, I do agree. Arcanine, yes. Gengar, Hitmonlee, I love Hitmonlee. Starmie, I love Starmie. Magikarp, the joke. Jolteon, Kabutops, yeah. I agree with my pastel the Gen 2 tier list within the S tiers there. I'm not gonna redo them. I'm just gonna go fuck myself. I guess. But yeah. Jolteon was also a beast. And we had Rhydon. Rhydon's my last member. And my most powerful. Because I saved Earthquake for it. It had Earthquake and Rock Slide. 2 moves it doesn't learn on its own. And it absolutely fucking clobbered everything. Everything. Just fucking everything. It clobbered everything. But a lot of my team had a little bit of issues. Now, I didn't catch much Pokemon, so I didn't experiment. I had the team set and ready to go. But I ran into some problems, and it's something that Gen 1 is desperately guilty of when it comes to Pokemon. And that is the movesets. The move pools and movesets, and like learn up the level up movesets. And just like not the move pool. I think the move pool is somewhat fine for a lot of these Pokemon, but the movesets is something completely different. The movesets in this game are fucking awful. Fucking awful. Rhydon. Let's take Rhydon and Rhyhorn for example. Just them two. Rhyhorn and Rhydon do not learn any fucking stab moves unless you give them either Earthquake or Dig and Rock Slide. The only rock move it gets that is stab is Rock Slide. What the fuck? Is Rock Slide the only rock type move in Gen 1? Gen 1... Probably not gonna get rock type moves. Almost Gen 1. Alright, fuck you. Can I... Let's just look. Is it the only one? Is it? It can't be. Fuck you. It's not. Rock Throw. Why not give it Rock Throw? Give it something. God. Is there like a ground? There's Earthquake. Fissure, Jesus. Nah. You shouldn't give those. Sand and nah. Is it okay? Okay. Whatever. I guess, bro. But yeah, the only one you can give it is Rock Slide. Which, the good thing is that Rock Slide is a TM that you can like repeatedly get. Because it's like, because you don't only get one, like, it's the same thing for Ice Beam and shit. Earthquake is not, so if you just, and you get two very good rock type stab moves for Rhydon, and that's Dig and Earthquake. I taught Dig to my Arcanine, and I Growlithe at the time, and I gave Earthquake to my Rhydon, and I made it better, but grabbing you by the fucking neck, Gen 1. Why are you like this? It makes Pokemon... I like the planning around using TMs. I think the planning around using TMs is fun. You get to plan out and use a lot of strong moves that maybe your Pokemon wouldn't know normally, and say like, hey, or like, and hey, like, I want to give it here, but then it's like, oh, I can give this one early here. It's like, you know, it's around there. Not when you mess with stab moves. What the fuck was that? Stab moves shouldn't... Every Pokemon should learn stab moves. It should be that fucking simple. Every Pokemon should learn stab moves, not this bullshit where you don't give them one. There's some bigger offenders here. Some bigger offenders. Some larger offenders. I don't know. Some offenders are larger than the ones that I'm talking about right now. I have a gigantic problem with Arcanine. And some Pokemon out there, I'm guessing, that are guilty of the same thing. Arcanine is also a good example of what I fucking mean. Arcanine, I said that I didn't use that much. And you want to know why I didn't use it that much? Because it was a fucking Growlithe until Blaine. The reason why it was a Growlithe until level 50 was because in Gen 1, the only The only other fire type move that there are three good fire type moves that Growlithe gets in Gen 1. Ember, Flamethrower, like stab or fire, not good. Ember, Flamethrower, and Fire Blast. Now, Ember is to level up, and you'll probably have Growlithe with Ember, or maybe you have to grind it up a little bit, but it's only a few levels. And Fire Blast is given to you by Blaine. But then there's Flamethrower, and Flamethrower is a lot more appealing because Flamethrower has more. You can use Flamethrower more, and it does similar enough damage to Fire Blast, where you're not running out after 5 uses of the move, and it's a lot stronger than Ember, obviously. There is a really big fucking problem with Arcanine, and that is that Arcanine doesn't learn Flamethrower. Growlithe learns Flamethrower, but Arcanine doesn't. And Growlithe learns Flamethrower at the staggering level of fucking level 50. So you have to, if you want like an optimal fire type move that you don't use 5 times and whatever, like a reliable fire type move, you have to grind your Growlithe to level 50. And there are probably more Pokemon that do this, that have moves locked behind pre-evolutions. They have to grind forever. Why? Why do this? Just be normal. It's not like in recent games. I don't want to compare it to recent games. I don't want to do that. This is the first game. But in recent times, they've changed it so Pokemon moves, like, it gets it earlier as a pre-evolution, but it still gets it later on, like as in the fully evolved form. Like if it learned a move in level 30 and like its pre-evolved form, then it'll learn it at like level 32 or 34 when it evolves. And here that's not the case. Here that's not the case at all. I wouldn't have minded grinding up an Arcanine to level 50 or level 52 for Flamethrower, but a Growlithe? I had a Growlithe for most of the game that died every fucking time. Again, that's probably most of the things that happens with the Pokemon. But as much as it frustrated me to do all of that and not to deal with all that, the game is actually pretty fun. Red and Blue is actually pretty fun. I disliked Red and Blue before playing through this time. I disliked it. Not gonna beat around the bush. I was not the biggest Gen 1 fan. But after playing it, I was like, I see where a franchise spawned. I like Red and Blue. I think the game is a lot of fun. Is it more than that? I don't think so. But it is a lot of fun. And one thing that I attribute to that is the use of TMs. TMs, again, like I said, one-time use. Give it to Pokemon that maybe doesn't learn that move. And there's like thinking involved. Like, do I give it to this? I don't want to unlearn it. There's a thinking game where it comes around to that, and that was something that I originally disliked about Gen 1, but now I like it. I like it a lot more. And it's like, I think an actual big strong suit of the game. Usually, I'm not the type to go like inconvenience equals complexity. Some people in games just go like, some people like when it comes to the games be like, oh, this thing being really fucking inconvenient is actually a genius mechanic. No, it's just fucking inconvenient. It just messes with your experience. In here, I feel like that's not the case. I feel like in here you do have to think about what you want to do. And what moves do you want to teach it? Obviously, give some stab moves, give some good moves to Pokemon that really do need it, like give Ice Beam to Ice types naturally, or give fucking Rock moves to Rhydon. But you know, like the TM part is pretty good overall. So yeah, the gameplay of Pokemon Red and Blue is actually pretty fun. Obviously, not going to be the most not gonna be the most like enticing gameplay. It's a very simple JRPG, but I feel like for for a very simple JRPG, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, and obviously it's meant to be played by kids and all that stuff. So I get it. So yeah, the gameplay overall is pretty fun. The Pokemon and selection I think is pretty solid. The use of TMs I feel like is really cool. No gimmicks here, and I feel like that's what Pokemon it really excels, is where you just have the Pokemon. You don't have any gimmicks around the battle. It's just like, yeah, you just have it there. So yeah, Red and Blue fun. Big thing is just fucking movesets. They kind of ruin a lot of Pokemon. Because then it's like, oh, you have to grind this shit. It's like, come on, man. Don't fucking do this to me. Okay, moving on to another part. It's the story. Now, I'm not gonna stand here with fucking saying like, oh, the story is like, talking about the story for a long time. No, it's like it's the fucking story of a Pokemon game. I do have problems with the progression of the story, and we'll get into that later. First of all, it's not a very interesting plot. It's you go around. It's very simple to what we see now, but even back then, I don't think it would be that interesting. It's like, oh, you go around the gyms. It's like, oh, there's Team Rocket, and then you stop Team Rocket, and then you go in the lead, and you go to the league, and you become champion. Very simple, but like, you know, it's the first game. I can kind of excuse it not being super, I guess, memorable. Most people just kind of remember the like sections of the game rather than actually like what happens in the plot, because it's very simple. It's like, oh, you stop me here, but you won't stop me again. I'm Giovanni and whatever. I lead Team Rocket, and then he goes away. And it's like when you beat him at the gym, it's like, now I will disband Team Rocket because I've been beaten by a fucking teenager. Bye. It's not the best plot, and you're not getting anything neat about it. The rival being an asshole, sure. Like, I guess Blue being an asshole makes sense. Although in my playthrough, he was not called Blue. He was called, get ready for this, the best name for the rival of all time. He was called Asshole. You didn't laugh, but it's pretty funny seeing every time Pokemon Trainer Asshole wants to fight, or Champion Asshole. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, the plot is just not all there. Something that I do have a problem with, and it's something that's very big, and I feel like it's something that really does drag the game down. It's not even like it's a flaw that needs to that can be fixed. Pokemon the moveset is something that's bad. It's something that can be easily fixed. I mean, it can be easily fixed, but it's something that generally like isn't just it's not. It's like a semi nitpick, I guess. like for A tier, it has to be like something like it's kind of small, can be easily fixed, kind of like basically a nitpick, pretty much. Like, oh yeah, what if I can see this a lot more, split a lot more. In here, for B tier, it's like genuinely things that are bad, right? That hamper the experience. That's part of it. This is another. I know people know Kanto like the back of their hand, and they can go through Kanto willy-nilly fine. But the progression, how you get to those points, I have no idea how any kid managed to do that. It's like Zelda, but a little bit more simple. Actually, a lot more simple. Zelda is so fucking weird. I'm going through Zelda right now as well. On the NES Classic. So at least I'm getting to the closest thing I can to the NES. The NES Classic. I'm playing on the real fucking two button, 1D pad, 2 other button controller of the NES. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing both. I'm gonna be playing Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Yes, I'm playing Zelda 2 and Metroid, all on this little thing, and then the rest I'll play on Switch Online. Sorry. But yeah, this game has, I think, a big issue with progression, and that is the fact that where the fuck are you meant to go? How were you ever meant to find that out? How were you ever able? How were you ever going to find out that you need to go into the Safari Zone to find that guy's golden teeth in the fucking middle of nowhere over there, and then give it back, and that's how you get strength, and that's how you can progress through the league, like through Victory Road. How the fuck were you meant to find that out? How? How the fuck were you able to? How were you meant to know that to get through? I mean, you can easily get through Rock Tunnel. Is it Rock Tunnel? I think it's Rock Tunnel. Through Rock Tunnel without Flash. But how are you meant to know they need to go back to Viridian Forest or where the fuck it is? Go talk to the scientist. Go to Oak's aid. Catch 10 Pokemon or 20, whatever the fuck it was. And then he gives you Flash. How are we meant to find that out? What the fuck? How was the genuine fuck were you meant to find out that you were supposed to go into Cerulean City? Or no, it's not Celadon City. To get the Silph Scope to go back to Lavender Town to fight the ghost. What the fuck? I guess at some point you're eventually just like bash your head against things and you'll eventually find it out. But how the fuck were you meant to go anywhere and do anything when the game doesn't give hints? I don't mean like handhold you through the game, tell you you need to go here, because I've played games that don't really give like a big, like, don't give explanation to where you need to go, like Castle, like Metroidvanias, like Metroid Dread specifically, it doesn't tell you where you need to go, but it gives you like pointers to where you need to go. Metro in general is like that, and I wouldn't mind that for Pokemon. But that's not the fucking case. You don't know where to go. It's like, what the fuck? The only time I can say, like, yeah, maybe that's the thing is like when you get the ticket from SSN for Bill's house. But even then, how the fuck were we meant to know? How the fuck were you meant to know you needed to go to fucking Bill's house to get the SSN ticket and get through that and get that for Cut, and then use Cut to get to Lieutenant Surge? How? How? How the fuck? Progression is a big issue in this game that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure that the other games are very are less weird. I mean, gonna be real. I have not had the fun time with Silver back then when I started playing it for the first time, where I beat Whitney, and I'm like, where the fuck do I go? The game's been pretty linear up to that point. It's like, where the fuck do I go? I have no idea where I'm going. So yeah, at least when I get to Kanto, to Yellow, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I kind of know where to go already. Like when I do Yellow. But aside from that, yeah, I don't know how you were meant to find out where to go in this game. But yeah, overall, I think the game is still very fun, even with the issues with the progression. And you know, I don't think there's much more to really say about it. Like, it has issues with the progression, which do bring it down. The movesets are a bit bad, but everything else is like pretty good. I think it's a very well-made first, I don't know if it's first attempt specifically, but a very well-made first entry into would be a franchise. It's a very good start. It's a very good start. So yeah, it won't save it from being anything higher than a B tier. Unfortunately, it will not be higher than a B tier. But you know, it's there. And I know this is like the first Pokemon game and all that stuff, but even aside from that sort of thing, and me not looking into the future games, a B tier I think is what serves it the best. So anyways, to everyone else, what did you think of Pokemon Red and Blue? Leave in the comments below. And happy 30th anniversary to the Pokemon franchise. Obviously, well, I'm gonna be covering these Pokemon Presents probably in like 2 years when that comes out. And yeah, if you want to give us your feedback, you can like the episode on YouTube or dislike it, whichever you prefer, or rate us on Spotify. If you want to stay up to date for content, you can subscribe on you can subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Spotify. And if you want to follow any of our socials, including mine, podcast, the companies, I guess, or anyone else who's with me on episodes, they're all in the description. Where you can also find links to my review site, where you'll see early reviews for things that are coming to the podcast or things that are related to things I'm gonna cover in the podcast. So yeah, that's about it.